Hello and welcome to the Rainy Night Listens podcast. I'm Haley,
And I'm Wyatt.
and this is the podcast that you save for a rainy night instead of a rainy day.
We also not only post on YouTube, but Apple Podcasts, TikTok, and Instagram. So make sure to check those out as well. All right. Today, I am going to cover some failed military experiments. Are you excited?
I am so excited for this because I don't know why, I've never thought about this as a concept, but it makes complete sense that there
Yeah.
would be a bunch of failed things too.
Yeah. This video might have to get like a part 2 as well because I was like going down the lists that I was reading and it was like so I tried to break them up into like kind of general categories, and just as sad as it is, just animal military experiments that failed is like could be a whole video by itself because
That's fair.
there's so many. Like there's no animal, kind of for the most part, there's no animal based ones in this one.
Okay.
Kind of.
That's fair. That sounds like it would have to be its own thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there have been some gnarly things that have taken place.
Yeah. Really gnarly. It's bad. But first, it's time for Hagen's final historical word of the day. Rounding off a year worth of recordings, not a year worth of posts, but a year worth of recordings. Hagen. 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 Hagen.
Brown.
That's a great ended on Brown.
Woo! A year in the making.
A year in the making.
You can finally know what Hagen's secret message is from the last 52 episodes.
Yes. We got together, planned out a year worth of videos. But I mean, obviously it didn't line up perfectly, right?
Well,
No,
it was
we
52 weeks, so
we've been posting for exactly a year.
Yeah.
What? Wow. There you go. Hagen's full message can be transcribed from all of the episodes we have.
I'm still trying to decide when I want to get them all
put together.
Spliced together. It's going to sound so funny.
It's going to be
all of the
so funny.
Tones and distances away from the microphone each time and everything.
It's going to be really funny when it just turns out that he just like perfectly did it the entire no tone difference
so
whatsoever.
Funny.
It sounds like he's telling a story. That would be awesome.
It's like a perfectly worded perfect.
Like literally it sounds like he's saying the sentence. Like it just keeps rolling perfectly.
That would be awesome.
It would be awesome. All right, I've got high hopes now. You would. You honestly, I don't even want to record anymore.
You know what?
What a waste of a year.
You know what? This is the last episode.
The last episode.
Early.
I should delete final and put Hagen's last historical word. Oh my gosh. You turned so hard. But what do I mean by failed military experiments? Well, in times of war and struggle, governments like ours would sometimes dip into less than practical experiments, whether for things like espionage or even for war as a whole. Many of these projects never saw the light of day after failure and are better off forgotten. So anyways, I'm going to bring some of them up and tell you about them.
Perfect.
Yeah. And we're starting with, I've got about 7 for this episode. Hey, don't double click. I'm about 7.
I would like it for people to think that I was the one controlling it or someone else.
And that it wasn't me doing it.
Controlling
it. You're just over there with a remote clicking it. Like click.
click.
I'm starting with 2 that are like they were both aircraft carrier themed projects. So I thought, why not lump these 2 together? The first one, probably one of the most like widely covered failed military experiments, I feel like, is Project Habakkuk. During World War II, the British came up with an idea of like, because aircraft carriers are humongous, right? Stupidly expensive things to build. Like they're for people that wouldn't know, they're the giant ships that are out in the sea that are flat on the top for the most part, so planes can land on them, refuel, and then take back off later. Planes and jets, things of the like. So they're massive. If it's like literally a whole runway that planes can land on, go
Mm-hmm.
around, refuel, and take off again. And so they the British came up with an idea of, well, aircraft carriers are very expensive. That's a lot of metal, a lot of everything to make. That I didn't get the name of the guy who like came up with it initially, but they thought, looking at icebergs, right? Icebergs are giant hunks of ice that float out in the ocean. Just like, how convenient would it be if you just mixed an iceberg and an aircraft carrier into the same thing?
Yeah, sounds simple enough.
It sounds
I'm
simple
sure
enough.
there aren't a bunch of things that need to be
That could
taken
go
into
wrong.
consideration when doing that.
Well, thankfully they realized that ice was not strong enough to be a thing. So they came up with I forgot the specific word they used. It was a weird word, but they basically used a mix of like wood shavings or wood pulp and ice.
Uh-huh.
And for like demonstration purposes, when they had like a block of ice and a block of this wood pulp ice, and if they shot the ice, like they literally explained it by like shooting a block of ice with a gun and it just exploded because, that's what ice does when you shoot it with a gun. And then they shot
So do
the
humans.
block of wood shaving ice and it ricocheted the bullet. Like it was strong enough to actually ricochet the bullet off the ice.
Wow.
Like minimal damage, ricochet the bullet. So in theory, it would work as like, because I mean it would float because it's ice, and
Uh-huh.
it was strong enough to like handle gunfire. And so they built a like a what's the word, a prototype one in a
Uh-huh.
lake, and it stood and it stayed and it floated and it worked. And then they were like, "Oh man, this is such a good idea. Let's get on this." And then
Did
they
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 have
they
someone
realized,
land on it?
I sadly I don't know if they actually landed any
Oh,
planes on
okay.
it. I figure they had to have if they were testing,
That's fair.
but after, putting this from theory into action and realizing, wow, this is great, they realized that, getting a aircraft carrier worth of wood shavings is not cheaper than an aircraft carrier. It's like, man, this sure is great
Oh
and
no.
cheaper. That's not very much cheaper. And it's not
Goodness.
as good. It's like almost as good as an aircraft. I mean, it's like good. It works like an aircraft carrier, but it's almost as expensive. So let's just make the normal ones.
Jeez.
And I guess they left it, and eventually it melted enough and sank into the bottom of the lake. Like it's still in the lake. Like divers can go and see. I need to look up
Oh.
the lake. I'm gonna look it up real fast. But yeah, they said that like divers can like actually dive down and still see the remains of Project Habakkuk down there.
That's crazy. That'd be cool to go see.
Yeah. Let's see. It was in Patricia Lake, located in Jasper National Park, Alberta, Canada.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's wild.
60-foot. Okay, so it was a prototype, so it was smaller, 60-foot long, 1,000-ton scale prototype. So I don't think they landed planes on it if it was only 60 feet long. But yeah, it's still down there. They said that it's like not obviously fully together, but for the most part, it's still down there. Like divers can go down and see the remains of a ice wood pulp aircraft carrier that they built.
Jeez.
But yeah, that one's like I said, that one like came up on like every site. The other one was about camels. I didn't do the camel one. Like I said, no
Oh.
animals in this one for the most part. But uh, yeah, I thought that was really cool though. It's really smart in theory. I mean, you'd think that it'd be easy to turn an iceberg into an aircraft carrier. It just sucks that you'd need to import
Just
tons
bye-bye trees.
of sawdust and pulp. But then the second one is it didn't have like a project name that I found anywhere. It was just called Flying Aircraft Carrier. It in like the 1930s, the US Navy wanted to make an aircraft carrier that could float. So literally the opposite. Like this one's in the sky. Planes fly and land on it
What?
in the sky and then take back off. And it was, and I put a picture of a hot air balloon because, obviously I'm not going to find a picture of it, sadly. But
Hmm.
they made two helium-filled, like, aircraft carrier ships. Like, they actually launched two of them up into the sky
What?
and were in, like working condition. But I forgot how long after it happened. But they eventually they worked really good, but the problem was is that they didn't expect bad weather. Like if it got really windy up there,
Oh.
they both ended up crashing and people died.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, at two separate times. It wasn't at the same time. It was like years apart, but they both ended up crashing out of the sky. But
Wow.
but it worked in theory. They actually like were operational for the time they were up there
Until it got too windy.
until it got too windy and stormy up there, and then it just
Jeez.
it's cool that it worked in theory, but it
Yeah.
sucks that that like because wind way up there is way stronger than wind down here,
Yeah.
so it makes sense, but it's sad. But it's really cool that it worked for the most
Yeah,
part.
that's crazy that they were able to actually like use it.
Yeah, I thought that was insane. I think those ones were like either also or in Canada or they was California. It's either California or Canada. I can't fully
Oh.
remember, but yeah. But that's all for the aircraft carriers because I didn't
Those
find
two are
any other ones.
crazy.
Yeah, those are insane, right?
Mhm.
You know how big those helium ships had to be aircraft carriers?
Huge.
Insane. Absolutely insane. But now I've got ones that are related to space. Because for some reason, the three concepts I could put together was aircraft carriers, space, and bugs. So, that's fun.
Huh.
The first one, as you can see by our tungsten rods, is called Project Thor or Kinetic Bombardment because there was a project, but Kinetic Bombardment was toyed around with pre-Project Thor. But they're both the
Okay.
same thing, literally. It was a concept during the Cold War,
Mm.
where there would be a satellite gun up in space, like it would orbit the planet, and it would just be loaded with tungsten rods. Like it wasn't rockets, it wasn't giant bullets. They were just tungsten rods because tungsten's really, really dense. It's a really dense metal, so it's stupidly heavy. And the concept was just if a tungsten rod reaches what's it called?
Like terminal velocity.
Terminal velocity. Nothing can shoot that thing out of the sky practically. Because,
What?
so they were like, well, the problem is that it would be really hard to aim, but if we could aim those bad boys, literally it would blow through buildings. It would blow through tanks. Like nothing could stop a tungsten rod that hit terminal velocity coming down to
Holy
Earth.
crap.
So it's like they said in theory it made sense. It was feasible. What was it? The problem was that it'd be hard to aim them. Uh,
Yeah?
I think okay. There's an American scientist named Jerry Purnell. I think he was the one that came up with Project Thor. But like I said, kinetic bombardment was toyed with pre that. But like that concept, I believe, was made by him.
Uh-huh.
But on top of the whole holy freaking crap, that's insane. They realized, during Cold War times, that would be stupidly expensive to pull off.
That's true.
Stupidly expensive, like a satellite gun in space loaded with tungsten rods that are just big. Insane concept, though. I mean,
A
like
crazy concept.
imagine.
Not only would it go through the building, I feel like it would
It would just
drive
keep going. It would
into the
keep
earth.
going. Yeah. Like I said, I'm pretty sure. Technically, depending on how deep it was, you could hit bunkers with this thing. Like, because it's just a tungsten rod that just. Yeah, insane.
Goodness.
Imagine to see it like coming down from the sky. Got like anti-air turrets shooting rockets at it's still just coming down the whole time. I mean, I feel like they could definitely redirect it, but it wouldn't slow it down or stop it. Because I don't know how durable tungsten is, but I imagine if it's like one of the densest metals, it's probably pretty durable.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
So its melting point has to be like stupid high too then, right?
yeah, I imagine
Because
so.
if it was gonna survive re-entering the atmosphere, especially at that speed.
Yeah. It's just such an insane. Okay, tungsten's melting point is 6,192 degrees Fahrenheit.
Goodness.
Yeah. I don't know how hot things get when they enter the Earth's atmosphere, but yeah, I just loved the concept of Project Thor. It's horrible, as horrible as it could be, but it's just insane that they're like just rods of metal, not a missile, not a bullet, just
Just
rods.
shove rods of metal as fast as we can absolutely get it.
Yeah, it's insane. I knew I had to cover that one the moment I read it. I was like, holy frick, dude,
Yeah,
that's
that's
insane.
crazy.
But yes, on to Project Horizon. Um, it was a concept for to by the U.S. Government. They wanted to put a military base on the moon, and they wanted it to be done by or around 1967. I don't know why they had like a dead end date, which I think is funny because I don't think they would have been able to pull it off. But maybe I'm dumb.
Hey, we don't know. Maybe there's a military base up there.
Yeah,
Super top secret.
super duper top secret. But
CIA breaks down our door.
we never make another video on our channel
This
gets
video
deleted.
never airs.
They just don't let it happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, they wanted it to be on the moon by 1967. And they had literally like modeled it out. Like they had like living quarters for soldiers. They had like a nuclear reactor generator, like, powering everything. Like they had it like all mapped out and everything. And then when they realized, they're like, oh, this is really cool. And if there were soldiers on the moon attacking our soldiers on the moon, they'd be able to defend themselves, right? So I'm sure they came up with there's a moon gun prototype that one of the governments made. I don't remember which one made, but they're, on sorry, I'm getting off track, but in the Fallout TV show, you remember in season 1, the ghoul, he has the gun that shoots rockets. Like it's literally a
Oh, yeah.
handgun that shoots miniature rockets. That was
Mm-hmm.
like a theorized space gun. Like that, not that specifically, but there was like a theorized space gun concept that was very similar to that gun. Like it was a gun that shot missiles, like miniature bullet missiles, because they would be able to stay on course in space.
Dang.
Yeah, pretty insane. But I guess they were just throwing that idea around because, how the heck are the soldiers on the moon going to defend from, I guess, invading soldiers on the moon? So they had to have, like, that thought out. But then they realized, if someone on Earth just shot a missile at our base on the moon, we can't do anything about that.
That's a fair point.
It's like, well, this is really cool in theory. Literally can't defend it from the Earth, which is the whole point.
Yeah.
So they realized
That's
that it was like strategically worthless by those standards, because like it literally,
like you
what would
can't
be the
you
point if
can't
it
stop
can't?
that.
Yeah, if it's on there to be a moon military base, I imagine they had plans to make it so it could shoot missiles onto Earth. Well, what if they were shot back? Well, we can't do anything about that. Then why are we even talking about it?
That's so funny.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, okay, never mind.
Oh, my bad.
Anyways, let's move on.
Yeah. Anyways, let's talk about Project Thor.
No, hear me out.
Hear me out.
Tungsten
Tungsten
rods
rods from space.
from space, not the moon, mind you.
Not the moon.
but a little
Space.
closer.
A little bit close. They get there a lot sooner.
It's just hard to aim from the moon.
The moon? Who even needs the moon, okay? It's too hard to aim anyways. Let's just do space.
Hard.
It's too hard. I don't wanna. Yeah, on to our final space-related one that I have in this video, the sun gun. It's funny that it's called the sun gun because it really just does not sound like a gun at all. But
Yeah.
yeah, people for you. I sadly didn't get a year. I imagine it was a probably back during one of the world wars, because that seems to be a common theme for every single thing I've covered so far. But oh no, yeah, it was World War II. Never mind. I did have a date on it. German scientists came up with an idea of a giant orbital mirror up in space. Like the whole thing, like I'm guessing because they didn't explain in detail, but I imagine like the whole magnifying glass on the ant trope,
Yeah.
just giant mirror in space that would like direct it on like a planetary level. That would just
Cut the
that
earth in half.
yeah, probably. Usually these things are well thought out, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, they wanted to channel solar energy as a weapon. They realized, yeah, this is really cool and all, but this is way beyond the technology we have at the time, because like World War II, and also the maintenance for a giant orbital mirror kind of outweighs the usefulness of a giant orbital mirror. They're like, oh yes, this is really cool. It would be really really effective getting our point across, but we'd have to send a rocket up like every 10 years. That's pretty expensive.
That is so
it's like yeah, maybe don't do that one. Yeah, see, it wasn't just the U.S. I mean, the Germans and British. And
I like to imagine
we're all collectively dumb.
Yeah. I like to imagine that all of these ideas made it to like through the planning phases, like like just about to be implemented, and then some little intern walked in and went, well, that won't work because of this, and then they got fired, and then they had to scrap the whole idea.
It's like, well, how are we going to defend the moon base? Get out!
Yeah, pretty much. That's how I imagine it.
I hope so. It kind of sucks for the intern, but that'd be so funny. On to my last two that I have recorded for this video. Bugs or bug problems. Because, I mean, technically one's just a bug problem, but the other one's bugs. I looked up Project Silkworm, and there are so many things that go by the name Project Silkworm. I could not find the actual Project Silkworm that this is based off of. But I somehow was redirected to an SCP. I don't know, man.
Everything.
All roads lead to SCPs.
Evolutionarily, all roads lead
to horseshoe crab.
Yeah.
yeah, crab specifically.
All roads lead to SCP.
All things lead to SCP. In the 1950s, British military scientists wanted to not genetically modify. They wanted to breed silkworms to be really big. So then they would produce, even more silk. They literally, the term used was industrial amounts of silk. They wanted to produce industrial amounts of silk. So they got a boatload of silkworms, bred them up to be really big.
How big did they get them?
They don't give like an actual measurement, but the problem is that silkworms feed on a very specific tree type, I guess, called mulberry trees. And they got fat enough that they could not climb up the trees anymore to eat the leaves needed. And like they could climb partial way up, but they couldn't keep going. They just too heavy and couldn't get their way up there. And so their response to this was, okay, let's make smaller trees. The silkworms were breaking the smaller branch, like the young little baby branches. They'd crawl up and the branches would either bend or snap when they try to climb up them. And so they're like, well, this has been really cool, really expensive. We got a good amount of silk. Let's just start buying normal silk.
Why didn't they just... Would they only eat them off the trees? Like they couldn't like feed
I don't
them?
know. Why aren't they just dropping leaves in a silkworm enclosure? Yeah, I don't know. That's just what I read, and I was like, I feel like there's a lot of overlooked things here. But eventually they're just like, well, maybe we should just be buying the synthetic material. The whole point was to make parachutes cheaper.
Oh.
And
I like that in everyone's race to try to make something cheaper or more efficient, they find solutions that are even more expensive or even less efficient than the original thing that they're trying to fix.
Yes, it's like, well, what if I just...
Well, I know we have a
giant
pistol,
silkworms.
but what if we put a mirror on the sun?
I know I have a gun, and I can shoot that guy if he makes me angry. What if I obliterated his entire town?
What if instead I cut the world in half?
What if I accidentally misjudged the heat intensity and, wiped a continent off the map?
What if I shot a tungsten rod and it melted on its way back into the atmosphere and caused tungsten rain?
And it was way worse than the original idea.
I somehow firebombed this place with molten metal.
Yeah, the napalm used was not napalm. It was molten tungsten. So much worse. I hate it. I hate it so much. But yeah, that's Project Silkworm, supposedly. Like I said, I tried looking up Project Silkworm. I did not find this one specifically. And I even looked up 1950s British Project Silkworm project. Nothing. SCPs. And some weird thing that was just confusing my brain. So
I just want to know how big they were getting.
I do too. I want to know how big they were, if they were like just inconveniently large for their own good.
Yeah.
Like, look how little he is compared to the leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, how big was he if he was bending small branches, like the
And
little
ripping
adolescent
them
tree
off?
branches? Yeah, this is insane. There's gotta be some fat boys up there. I want to see the chunky silkworms. On to our last one. This one was kind of crazy, and it's honestly, of all of my notes, it's actually not the smallest. This the third smallest. Somehow the 2 aircraft carrier ones were shorter. I got a lot more out of those than I guess I should have. But the last one was a concept for sawdust aircraft. World War II British engineers. It was during a time of an aluminum shortage was going on, and so British engineers came up with an idea of resin and wood shavings. And so they would mix the resin and wood shavings together into like a compound, and then they would use that compound to make aircraft because it held together and it worked. I guess it never explained its bullet resistance, but I guess it should. Airplanes get shot down if they get shot. I guess the concept, like I don't know. I feel like airplanes aren't bulletproof. I guess I've never heard of a bulletproof airplane, but maybe I'm dumb.
Yeah.
Every like version of airplanes you've seen getting shot, they just get shot, and the whole concept is that like, oh, airplanes aren't supposed to get shot, so it's not a problem.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I feel like as time's gone on, they've
they're definitely more
and
advanced,
more bulletproof as like the things to shoot them down have
also advanced.
So have the aircraft.
But like World War II, I feel like everything I've seen of like planes during World War II is the Air Force's whole thing is that like the dogfights are really bad, but they usually never hit each other, and whoever hits the other one first wins because the planes always go down if they get shot. So I don't know. Anyways, they wanted to make a sawdust and resin airplane, or it says aircraft. I imagine airplanes. I don't think they're making helicopters out of resin and sawdust. And it was supposedly very durable. And so it worked in theory. But the problem is that they kept getting infested with woodworms. And so the airplanes were getting eaten out of the sky.
That's a nightmare.
Yep. That's that guy.
You're like flying the
this
plane.
Guy right here. This guy, he did it. He may have killed some British airplane pilot. I hope he didn't. I hope they realized it before. I imagine they did, but it's just insane that they supposedly built either a prototype or an aircraft, and then it got infested with woodworms.
Jeez. That's so crazy.
It is.
I love that, like, I don't love it, but I feel like it's like the same concept of like termites with homes. How you have like these giant structures that humans have put so much time and effort into like creating, and then these little a-hole bugs show up
and they just like, chew through it.
Be a shame if I were to munch that.
Be a shame if I.
This is some gourmet stuff.
This is some gourmet tree. Why is this tree shaped like this? This is a weird shaped tree.
Is that resin? Delicious.
Delicious. Well, yeah, they found them too risky for use because the woodworms kept infesting them. I guess I didn't like that. as you could tell, the amount of information I had, depending from project to project, was very varying. But yeah, for the most part, my sources are right there. I was looking at 4 different websites for it. There are tons, by the way. All of them had the camel thing I never covered, and almost all of them had the friggin' Project Habakkuk. And what was the other one? Oh, I didn't record the other one. It's called like Project Ice Tunnel or Iceworm. Project Iceworm. It was like a. I guess I could give a brief rundown of another one. It's like I think it was the U.S. I think they had created they wanted to be able to get the jump on the Soviets during the war, and they went into Iceland, not Iceland, Greenland, and they built like an actual like bunker base under the ice, and it was going to have like actual nuclear silos in it, so then it was like a lot closer and a lot easier to access Russia if they needed to during the war. And it actually was in use for quite a while, but as the ice would melt and change and like time would pass, the tunnels got like, because the tunnels were pretty huge and the areas were huge, there were people living in it, and they had like steel beam reinforcements throughout the tunnels, but ice is still ice at the end of the day. And so eventually it was too unstable to live in because they didn't know if it was going to collapse or not. So they abandoned it or something, I guess.
I think I've actually heard of that now that I'm thinking about it. I think that I saw like a show that talked about it because they went and were looking at it because it's still out there, right?
I think so.
Where you can go out and you can see all of like the metal supports and everything out there from the buildings. But insane. It just kept on like slowly sinking into the ice.
Yeah, because of,
that's
how
crazy.
It works. But yeah, the concept of just living in ice tunnels seems horrendous. Yeah. I don't get how they can live in it without making it worse.
And I feel
like the amount of body heat alone, not to mention the machines, the food, the everything, heat. How does it keep the ice from? How does the ice not melt and just become a problem? It did become a problem, I guess, but
But have you ever been like ice fishing?
Sadly, no.
Dude, there's, at least to me, I feel like there's nothing scarier than being out on the ice and then you hear it cracking.
Oh,
but like,
my gosh.
It's just, like every once in a while, it's like I don't know what happens, but you can just hear like that deep like chunk.
Yeah, as it just like spreads.
Hear it like echoing, and like you're fine because like the ice is, depending on where you go, it could be even like a few feet deep that you're sitting on top of, so it's not like it's all just like gonna shatter out from underneath of you. But hearing that freaks me out so bad.
Yeah.
Let alone being down inside of an ice tunnel.
Yeah, like if I was hearing that cracking in the tunnels, nah, I'm out.
Because I feel like on top of it, you at least have like a slight chance to be able to hopefully survive it. But I feel like if you're that far below the ice and it all just starts cracking and crumbles on you, what are you gonna do?
Literally nothing. You just have to hope you get saved by someone.
Yeah.
It's so messed up.
Ugh. Yeah, I just imagine being like under the ice and hearing that cracking and being like, ugh.
Yeah.
You're sleeping and you wake up because you hear the ice cracking in the building.
Well, I'm leaving.
Is this the end or?
Am I going to die? It's like one of those things where you wake up and you're way too tired to do anything. And you're like, I'm going to give it an hour, but I'm probably not living to see the morning.
It's like whenever you're camping and there's like a rock under your sleeping bag.
You just can't be bothered, but you're bothered.
You're waking up and you're like, oh, but you're not actually going to do anything about it.
I'm angry, but I'm really comfortable right now.
I'm so mad. Anyways, honk shoo me me me.
Honk shoo me me me. I'm so mad. Ugh!
Literally.
Yeah, I guess I also covered Project Iceworm, kind of, a lot more basic than the other ones, but yeah, I wanted to just give like the understanding and information on them, and if you want to look up the individual projects or things yourself, go for it. I just wanted to bring them up because I thought some of them were funny.
Those are crazy.
And Project Thor is terrifying.
Yeah.
But
how is that one like my least favorite? Like it's
my favorite, least favorite.
Yeah.
The concept is insane that it makes me like it, but the fact that it's like horrible. By far the most inhumane thing on this list, minus the sun gun.
Minus the mirror by the sun.
Yeah, the sun gun. That thing would be terrifying if they actually pulled it off. But
yeah.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. And I forgot. I put a part for me to read. There's loads more to cover, but I'll leave it here for now. Let us know if you know of any or want any specifics covered. For the most part, these are easy to find online if you would like to read about them yourself. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing time, and we'll hopefully see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.